Hello,
Hi, I am Clara Emmanuel.
and I'm Pauline Brooks, and we are the co-founders and CEOs of Workwelle.
Our journey has really just taken us to this point as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as creatives, as expats, and now as mothers. We're in this space with these like evolving and changing identities, and like we just really wanted to share, just start getting out there and like connect with
Exactly.
women as possible who are kind of also going through something similar.
Exactly. So, for those of you who don't know us, Workwell is a well-being platform for working mothers, and we really focus on the personal and professional development of women as they're transitioning into motherhood and beyond.
And we wanted to start this YouTube channel as a springboard to start connecting with women and sharing about the realities of being a working mom and how we can start like flipping the narrative to start bringing us a little bit more joy and start bringing us a little bit more hope and start thinking about ways that motherhood and work and well-being can actually like all work a little bit more seamlessly.
And you know what? I think that there's this narrative. So Claire, you're very right. There's this narrative of motherhood being, especially motherhood and going back to work, about it being very arduous and it being really tough and the struggle and the guilt and
Yeah.
all of those things. Of course, there are parts to that, but actually, I don't really feel like there's a lot of people that there. I mean, there are a lot of people that really talk about the magic of motherhood
Yeah.
and how wonderful a journey it is and how it's actually something that brings out the best in you as well as, as some of the lower points, but it can bring out the best in you, and it's actually an opportunity for you to just rediscover yourself again.
Today, we really wanted to talk about, that idea of like blending things seamlessly and like, what having it all really means. And what does work life balance actually look like? Is it something that actually exists? Because I have been hearing this a lot, and I see this on Instagram all the time. This idea that for working moms, especially for high achieving moms, like work life balance does not exist. You cannot have it all. Can you can have it all, but you can't have it all at the same time. And you're gonna have to figure out a way to like sometimes you're gonna be this person, sometimes you're gonna be that person. Sometimes you're gonna miss a soccer game, sometimes or a football game, sometimes you're gonna like be working late and like to try to meet the deadline. And it's this like rhythm that you're gonna have to constantly
Sacrifice.
sacrifice. Something is always gonna have to be constantly sacrificed if you want to be a working mom. Now, I've been thinking about this for the past few days, and Pauline and I, we talked about it before, but it's like, is that true? Is that it? Like, is that it? Is there constantly have to be this struggle and sacrifice in order to kind of do kind of well at both things? Not do great, but like do kind of well at both things for this. And it's just, there's something in my heart that breaks at that, the reality of that, if that is true. Like, so what do you think, Pauline? Like, can you have it all? Does work-life balance exist?
Well, what does all mean?
Mm,
What does all mean? I think it can mean different things to different people, right? For some people, having it all might be, their little cottage and their family and, a dog and, the 2.5 kids. That could be having it all for them. For some people, it could be having the really high achieving CEO career and, being a mom and, being able to pursue your passions and not having anything be taken away from like your professional aspirations. For some people, like, for me personally, having it all means having some peace. So having peace in myself, feeling rested, feeling good, like feeling good in myself. That means, like, whatever that means in terms of like physically, emotionally. Having it all means having a really, really solid relationship with my family.
mm,
Having it all means being able to express myself in my career
yeah.
and being able to pursue it in a way that honors my role as a mother and also the fact that I have dreams that I'm chasing and that I
Yeah.
want to achieve.
So I think this is a really good point. So what I'm hearing you say is that we've been kind of like said, oh, well, yeah, no, you can't have it all because there's this one definition of what like having it all looks like. It's like being at the top of your career and being like Susie Homemaker, like the, greatest mom in the world and, feeling amazing and perfect and with like within yourself and you like go to yoga 3 times a week and, all that type of stuff and you work out every day and you have like your your mental health is perfect and so your well-being is in this amazing place.
You're waking up at 5 AM and you're doing the, like, you have your morning routine that you're, like, checking off, and you've got,
Yeah.
like, your evening routine and, that sort of thing.
And I think that's like this idea of what having it all is supposed to look like. But it's like for me, I think you're absolutely right. Like I just really reject this idea that like that's what it's only supposed to look like. And I think we talk about this a lot in our work. It's like, what if I don't want that? Like I'm actually okay
Hey,
with something's not looking a certain way. I'm actually not okay with people saying that, like, that makes me a lesser, artist or a lesser employee or worker or a lesser mom, or if, whether you're like, a Montessori parent or if you're like a boarding school or whatever that looks like, if you're not coming to the PTA meetings and you're not doing this, you're not doing that, like,
Yeah, some moms
who
don't wanna
wanted to
go
do
to
that?
PTA, you know what I mean? Like, that's not like, different strokes for different folks, like,
Yeah,
I don't wanna be involved in, like, PTA meetings and, like,
I'm not there yet. I'm not.
doing all the crafts and, like,
Yeah,
that's okay, that's not for me, I really strive to be as present as I can as a mom,
yeah.
but if I don't make all my meals homemade, if you know what I mean? There
That's
are some
a big
things,
one.
like yeah, like, some things aren't as important to me as I thought they'd be
I
as
think
a
this is
mom, in my
also
work, as a person, so
I'm realizing this personally, like, there's so many things that I thought that I would be really really stick onto, that would be so important to me when it came to my motherhood journey. And I'm just sort of like, actually, I really don't care. Like, I
but
try to, it's like, I do not care about this.
yeah, I mean, can you believe that there was a time when I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna do only the cloth nappies, they're just better for the environment." I
Right.
mean, please.
Yeah. It's like, and I don't care. Like, I don't
No.
care that my
But if
kids
that's your
only.
thing, great. Like, if that's really important to you, then, like, go for it. But, like, that's something that didn't be wasn't something that I was gonna hold on to.
Yeah, yeah. I just like there's so many things in my journey where I'm just sort of like, I do not care about this. Like,
Yeah, and it's
we
different
don't
for
care.
everybody. It's different for everybody. And I think that's part of, like, what we do, that's part of the core of what we really teach and, when we're doing our programs and working with women is that the first thing you need to do is, you know, redefine your priorities.
Yeah, like
And
what do you want?
especially, what's important to you now? What's not important? What are your, like, have your values changed?
Yeah.
How do you want to, if you're going back to work, how do you want to go back to work? Like, what's
Mhm.
important to you? Because for me, my priorities changed massively after I had my
Right.
daughter.
Yeah.
And also, and that as she's growing, it's been 5 years. She's 5, oh my God. But as she's been growing, like even throughout that time of 5 years, I've had changing priorities.
Well, this I think I'm in that middle of that shift right now because, obviously my daughter's 3. So it's like, I'm really feeling her having more independence and we're putting her into nursery for a few more days and like she needs that like social, exploration, and she needs different things from me and like she needs different things from other people. We really need to it's like socialize her. She's such a mom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but then it's also a time for you where it's like, okay, you kind of feel like you get back into yourself, and whether that's at, 3 years postpartum. I mean, are we
Yeah.
still saying
Like,
postpartum after years? But like, whether that's like 12 months postpartum, 18 months postpartum, 2 years, 3 years postpartum, 5 years, whatever, whatever that length of time is, you're also figuring out yourself again too.
no, but that's it. Like as she is able to like explore and do more of herself and be more of herself and be more independent, I'm reclaiming those parts of me. But I'm realizing that as I'm like grabbing those pieces back and pouring back into myself, it's like I'm trying to do it in the same way that it was, or the way that one society tells me, or the way that like I used to do it before. And it's like, oh, it's so different. Like I actually don't want this thing, or the thing that I thought that I wanted doesn't look the same. I talk about this when it comes to my acting career all the time. It's like I work as an actor, and it's like the dreams that I wanted before that I was so sure would never shift, that I was so sure wouldn't look any different. Aren't I'm now like, I don't even know if I want to do that. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? And it just
yeah.
looks so like, and so yeah, when we talk about the idea of like having it all, and it's just sort of like, oh, actually, this like what I thought all was isn't actually that anymore.
Exactly, and I think that that's it, talk to me next year and, all will be different for me,
When
you
I
know
was
what I
on
mean?
maternity leave, like, literally, and this isn't everyone's experience, but I had those, like, you couldn't tell me that I didn't have it all. Like, I wasn't working, I was not acting, I was not, like, high achieving, I wasn't being any of those things, but, like, literally, I still look back and I was like, "That was one of the best years of my life." Like, I just loved having all that time. Like, you couldn't tell me that I didn't have it all, but I wasn't even doing half the things that I normally
Exactly.
did, you
Yeah,
know?
you just wanted that time to bond with your
Yeah,
baby, and you were so blessed to be able to have that time, to be
totally.
able to do that. And same here. During my maternity leave, I think it was how many months? Like, did I do a year? I can't even
I
remember.
think you did a year, but, like,
Or was
you
it like
did it
9 months?
during COVID,
Yeah, I
so
did it during COVID, so it was a little bit different. But yeah, I loved that time, and like for me, having it all was being able to just have all that bonding time with my daughter, and then things, just things.
and
So
then
I
things
think
shift.
I think that it's fluid,
Yeah.
and
I really reject the idea that work-life balance doesn't exist because I don't think this is something that men say. I don't think men talk to other men that much at all. I don't think men talk to other men and go, "Just can't have it all." Like, they're the ones who are just sort of like, "Give me more," you know?
or figure it, or like I'll figure out how to make sure that like I get mine. You know what I mean? I
I
think that
will
that's
get
kind of my
mine,
point.
exactly, and I'm like, I'm not trying to be like I'm in my feminine era, but, like, for like, my feminine era is all about, "Imma get mine. I'm gonna live joyfully with mine," and that includes my work, it includes my family and my child, and it also includes me and, like, who I am. So, yeah, I wanna, like, explore this further. I would love to know, like, if anyone who's watching, what you think about this. Like, do you like, should we start rethinking about when we say to women, well, you can't have it all or work-life balance doesn't exist? I want to know what people's honest opinions are. Not just what like the gurus are saying, but like real women. I want to know, like, can we have it all? I don't know. Let us know. But thank you guys so much for like having this discussion with us. We hope that you'll stay tuned to some of the more interesting topics that we're going to be exploring on this channel. And yeah, remember, you can work hard and you can work smart, but you need to work.